And today, school challenge. What is Jamaica's oldest cell phone? What is it? Which was the first?
The Abeng.
The Abeng. Oh, you did not
Let's
go.
look inside.
You did not go to the principal's office.
Yes. You're a maroon.
What did I say?
Good to meet you, Miss Jenny.
No, I said Miss Jenny.
Yeah.
Yes, I am of a Maroon descendant from Moortown in Portland, and I know call it the ancestry, because we, the Crawfords, we had a place near Charlestown in Buff Bay called Crawford Town, and on some old Jamaican maps you will see Crawford Town. But in 1730 there was an altercation between Nanny's brother Quao and our uncle Ned, and Nanny invited us up to Moortown. When we go to Moortown and see where Nanny is buried, the members of her cabinet, they lived near her. So the Crawford, we are very near on the level there, compared with other persons who are living up in the hills. And the Maroon story is a very wonderful one, because you know that in 1738, Nanny's brother, Kojo, signed the treaty in a compound. And we learned that Nanny was not in agreement that this treaty should be signed. She walked from Moortown to St. Elizabeth, a compound, to tell her brother not to sign it. And don't think that she walked on the coast. She did not. She walked in the middle of the island from Moortown. She would have gone through to a place called Berrydale. That's where when you're doing your rafting, you start. She went over on the raft through the woods, and then she would reach Charlestown in Buff Bay, and then she would stay. And as my ancestor did in 1891 for a trade show, and then she would walk in the middle of the island. She stopped at Scott's Hall in St. Mary, and the Maroon community. Why she didn't want her brother to sign the treaty, and she was not interested in it. You're signing the treaty in a language that you didn't understand. And beside that, you will not see written on the treaty N-A-N-N-Y, Nanny. You'll see an X. They took a fern, people now call it vampire fern, and you stick it, it's very sharp, and blood comes, and with the blood, you draw blood and you mark your X. Nanny did that. But a modern writer named Thomas Waste, he said that the large print giveth, but the small print taketh away. So you have to be very careful, because in the treaty the British said that the Nanny should return any enslaved who escaped.
They didn't know this?
There's no
The
record.
Maroons didn't know that they were doing that?
Well, this is why they were apprehensive, but let me shock you. There was no record to show that they ever returned any, because it is in the treaty. People are very, hold them to it, so they gave them away, because it's in the treaty. But there's no record. I was doing some research for a presentation in Japan. There's no record today to show that they were given away. But the same enslaved who visited her, saying they were running away from the British, they went and told the British where she was at Nanny Town. That's why Nanny Town was destroyed. And as Colonel Lumsden told me, the shock of it, it's unbearable that in running, the Maroons had to leave their children behind. The children were crying, and the children didn't understand why, and they were left behind, and so they starved to death. Jeez. They died. Yes, yes. All that happened. So it is a very sad story. And you should know that in the 1930s, some boys from Jamaica College decided to go in search of Nanny Town, and they got lost. I grew up with that story in Moortown, and the ancestors said that the older people told me that Nanny box there. But they were found at a place named Cooper's Hill. Cooper's Hill, incidentally, is where the present chairman of the Council of the Institute of Jamaica, his ancestors came from, Mr. Howard Mitchell. Now, the man was in his field. The man's name was Shelton. And he was in his field, and the boys saw the smoke. They were lost for some 2 weeks. Jeez. And with whatever strength was left, they were able to call out, and the man rescued them. It's believed...
Did they find Maroon? Nanny's...
No, they veered away from it. They were going to the left when they should have gone to the right. But guess what? One of those boys became a professor of history at the University of the West Indies, Professor Douglas Hall.